I've been thinking a lot about identity changes recently. Basically, how the person I was a few years ago looks so different to who I am now. The person I am now is a lot more like my ideal version of myself. But in the past, I really just didn't think that certain levels in life were possible for me. I didn't think I could make money from art or have an art studio or just show up consistently to paint. I don't think I believed that at a deeper level. I may have said that I believed it, but I don't think I really did. Now, I want to clarify, I am nowhere near where I want to be in life. I'm actually having the worst year of my life right now, just in so many ways, emotionally, my job wise, financially, socially, deaths in the family, just so many things this year have been beating me down. But at the same time, in my creative practices and habits, I'm actually thriving and really surprising myself at who I've become this year. And that's a really amazing feeling to experience, to see yourself actually becoming more of who you're supposed to be. Also, apologies for my voice if it sounds nasally. I just got over the flu for a few days. Okay, but let's rewind though. Let's talk about how I have changed my identity from someone who painted literally once a year, yet thought of themselves as an artist, to someone who paints 5 days a week and actually is an artist much more effortlessly. Well, it's not effortlessly, but I'm saying I can easily show up now and do the thing that I say I'm going to do versus a few years ago, I said I was an artist, but didn't really paint that much. So let's travel back to the year 2018, back in the old-timey days. This year is actually not that significant overall. But one thing I remember specifically about 2018 is that I'm pretty sure I only did one painting that entire year. Now, it was a great painting. I got compliments on it for years and people liked this painting. But one painting the whole year and you think you're an artist? Come on. And I will say, this is not to shame anyone at all because you are still an artist. Absolutely. I'm just saying for myself, I wanted to paint a lot more and I wasn't. That's the point. I'm not saying if you're in a, down spell or you can't afford materials or you're sick or whatever and you're not painting that you're not an artist, because that's not true. But I think I was just fooling myself thinking that if I painted once in a blue moon and it was a good painting, then that was enough, But deep down, I wanted to be painting every day and doing a lot more. I really just hid behind these once in a blue moon paintings. And when I think about when things actually shifted, it really was 2020 that I finally saw a change in my habits. And I think this was a combination of a few things. As I'm reflecting, one main concept really helped me start painting regularly. And this was to set the bar much, much lower. I really became a quantity over quality advocate. Even if that meant my art wasn't as good, I really just wanted to focus on showing up more days of the week, even if I was making bad stuff. Reading Atomic Habits, if you haven't read that, obviously need to read. Watching Casey Neistat do the daily vlog, although his videos are amazing, of course. But he really was okay, let's just pump it out no matter what. And just learning about the value of a daily practice in order to transform your identity, who you think you are, and what you deserve. So instead of doing this amazing painting one time per year that took weeks or months to finish, in 2020, I started doing small paintings on paper that I had to finish in less than 3 hours, and I had to finish it in one sitting so I could do them daily. And to further simplify the process and make it easy, I picked 6 colors I would use over and over and only those colors. So I had all the constraints: small painting paper, 3-hour window, 6 colors, and 1 photo each day from my iPhone that I had taken in the past. From there, all I had to do was show up and paint. I just started seeing painting as much more like a job, show up, do the work. And some of you may be oh, that's depressing, you want to enjoy the process, but if you want to get things done, you kind of just have to trudge through it sometimes. And to me, it just made it easier to think of it like a job. Reading The War of Art is essential to kind of seeing creative pursuits in this manner. It's all about how we get over the resistance, trudging through the trudgery, and, not romanticizing this idea of a tortured artist who waits for inspiration. Okay, so I did a bunch of these daily paintings in 2020, and I started selling some and seeing growth. and progress and interest. And it was really great. Then I definitely had some lulls where I wasn't creating as much, but I will say I never ever went back to painting once a year. Like those daily paintings really jumped me into a new level. Now in 2023, I actually joined this crazy project online called Alphabet Superset by the YouTuber Struthless. It's so cool. And you complete one finished thing per week. So that is definitely keeping me in the studio every day, busy. And then in 2021, I did a cool challenge called Oil Timber, where I painted a small oil painting every single day for a month. And that just really taught me how to carve out time every day to paint. And again, to like lower the bar and just make less amazing paintings, but every day. And by doing it every day, you will actually get better quicker. So I think challenges and like collective projects you can do with, people online or in person are just so amazing for this kind of mindset switch. And of course, accountability as well. And the thing is, like, you build confidence from doing. Confidence isn't a mindset that you can just like switch on. It comes from competence, which is, the more you show up, the more you believe you are this person because you're literally doing it. The more you do, the more you are. It's not believe, then do. It's do, then believe. So that's why you really can't fast track this shift overnight. You really have to just do it. And then later you'll look back and be like, oh my God, I didn't really know what I was doing. But after that 30-day challenge, I felt like a real artist and I learned so much. And you may not see it in the day-to-day, but you will see it like a year later. Atomic Habits really was game-changing for me. There's also this concept where you combine a reward with doing something difficult. So I implemented that right after I read that book. And so I would get like a movie or a show that I was really excited to watch, and I would save that for when I was about to sit down and paint. So sitting down to paint became less painful because, I would be motivated by the movie and I get little snacks and drinks and, I just like pamper and pad the hard thing with all these rewards, I honestly don't believe in like willpower or again inspiration. Like I believe in like setting your environment up to make it easy for yourself. I don't think that we're meant to have like strong willpower. I think that we're meant to like pick berries and like lay in the forest all day. So we can't do that. So we need to set up our environment and make it fun and like exciting for ourselves, even if that means doing silly things like having M&Ms ready when we're gonna paint. And I think some other things that shifted for me, I tried to hone in on specific niches, not trying to paint in primary colors, acrylic on Monday, and then pastel colors in oils on Tuesday. Picking a style and, colors and all of that is super, super hard. And sometimes I think you just have to like choose something and go with it and tune the rest out. And I think doing this also helped me paint more because it lessened the decision fatigue. But I really get FOMO with styles. Like, do you guys get this where you're like, oh my God, why did I pick Impressionism? That abstract painting over there looks so cool. Like, should I change my whole style? Or, oh my God, that girl paints all pink paintings. Should I do that? Like every day I'm just like style FOMO 24/7, But you have to just keep that narrow focus. Keep doing what you're doing. You can change small elements for sure if you want, but don't change overnight or constantly compare yourself to others. I'm talking to myself mostly here. I actually don't even like looking at too much art anymore because I just get so like overwhelmed and overstimulated and like jealous. Like there's just so much good art out there. And I think looking at too much can be painful. I just feel like a piece of crap. I'm just like, oh, I suck so bad, So I think like limiting how much you're looking at art on like Instagram and stuff, you want to be inspired and like see great art, obviously, but just keeping it to a minimum if you feel like it's not great for your mental health or productivity, But yeah, simplifying your materials, your process, your subject matter, while also learning and growing, of course. Everyone's going to have different barriers in their life that prevents them from being like the ideal artist that they want to be. For some, it might be limited space in their house. Maybe the kids and pets are just everywhere all the time. Maybe you have limited time with your stressful job. You're working overtime or multiple jobs, or Or you have all the time in the world, but you're financially limited. Or maybe you have none of those problems and you're just a beginner and your knowledge is close to zero. So every time you sit down to paint, you're just like confused and overwhelmed and frustrated. There's actually this concept of like being a beginner with great taste, but you have no execution. Like you know it looks good, but you don't know how to do it yourself yet. And that can feel really defeating. But yeah, I think identify your problem and tackle that one specifically. So I think for me in 2020, when I, wanted to start being a real artist and painting a lot, I had time and money and I didn't have kids or, anyone bothering me, but I didn't have a lot of space. So I did have roommates and distractions and noise. So I tackled the space issue by setting up a tiny little workspace where I could keep my paints out and they were safe. And, I put up boundaries when I was painting and I waited until people were, busy at work. So I had, quiet time. You can't shortcut trial and error, but you can be strategic and focused. And it makes a big difference when you put all of these tactics together and you just execute. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I am just so grateful to anyone who is watching this. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It means the world to me and it really helps out so much. So please do that if you haven't. I hope you have a wonderful day and please go create something awesome today or this week. Okay, bye.